Hello, my name is Felicity Dow, and the scene I will be analyzing is from the 1988 South Korean film Chilsu and Mansu, in which is a montage of the population misinterpreting the two main characters' actions as an attempt to commit suicide. This first shot within the clip depicts Chilsu and Mansu both very confused at the commotion. Chilsu is looking up at the helicopter broadcasting the live news footage of the situation, and Mansu is looking down at the entire city watching them. The next shot pans down to show the view in their perspective, which has civilians shown observing and a combination of news reporters, journalists, and the military trying to come to a resolution. It then shifts to the civilians' perspective with the wide shot of the building in the sky. The audience are able to see the circling helicopter and the military news reporters lined up looking at the two men. It appears that in the background, Chilsu may have been dragging Mansu down either to duck from the helicopter or to perhaps go down and listen to the authorities. It's uncertain if this entire montage is sequential because in the next shot, it shows their backs and the view of them gazing down at the crowd. From their hand movements, they're trying to tell people that they're misunderstanding the situation. This part of the clip seems to be significant because symbolically, these two men are part of the lower class, and even at the very top, there seems to be a barrier of communication towards what they want to express towards the crowd of middle to upper class people. Next is the low angle of the military, police, reporters, their employer, and more, which indicates the fact that they're watching Chilsu and Mansu. This now focuses on the road, and even though it may seem out of place within this montage, it potentially is an indicator that even in the midst of intense events occurring on a daily, life still goes on and continues to move forward. Next proceeds to a close-up of a few civilians watching, and then cuts to a different angle from the side of the building that presents the fact that the amount of watchers is increasing. Here's another wide, low-angle shot of Chilsu and Mansu sitting on the billboard they had just finished painting, very confused of what is happening. The news reporters are in action and is interviewing a member of the police force, and because of the fact that on each end it's filled with confusion, this interview is a prime example of higher authorities trying to control the narrative. These next few shots go back and forth between Chilsu and Mansu and then the police force speaking to each other. In this first one, the two characters are trying to project what the police are telling them because of how it's all one giant misunderstanding. The next one, the authorities speaking to them with a bullhorn. Even so, with the clips cutting between the two shots, it presents that both ends are unable to hear each other, which seems like Chilsu and Mansu don't really have a voice to convey their grievances. From the authorities' end, they presume that the men are hostile, which leads to them taking action cautiously. Finally, with the mindset instilled that Chilsu and Mansu were planning to give up their lives as a symbol of protest regarding labor, the policeman then calls for the team to put out a net for their safety. This last shot of the clip is another view with the people on the ground observing the men. They're pointing at them as if they're judging the entire situation given what was told to them by the media, and how information got to the media in the first place, where the enforcements relaying their assumptions to everybody. Overall, what the scene conveys is the message that the entire film was projecting, and that is the hardships that the labor class has to face. In this case, this was a normality for those who were always struggling with finding work, taking every chance they can get. As shown throughout the movie, Mansu was always calling agencies and companies for jobs to be painting billboards, even though it's very labor-intensive. My scene of choice presents the fact that, though unfortunate, there will always be a divide between the lower classes with the higher classes, which continue this never-ending cycle of communication barriers. This was my shot-by-shot analysis of the film's end. Thank you for watching.